Okay, good. Then let me make the opening. This is an online information meeting about the Offshore Wind Energy MBA. This MBA is offered by the Business Academy Southwest and Hochschule Bremerhaven, part of the European project Interreg Into Power, where further participants, as you see here in the first slide, are active in different work packages. So my name is Wolfgang Lukas. I am at the University of Applied Sciences in Bremerhaven, and I am the work package leader for this Offshore Wind Energy MBA. So maybe a short word for Henrik, because he is the second one to present this MBA together with me.
Yes, my name is Henrik Steffensen, and I work at the Business Academy Southwest here in Esbjerg. And I will also present something from the Offshore Wind MBA. And I have actually been a lecturer of some of the course, and also selling the course.
Okay, thank you, Henrik. As some participants I heard have to leave earlier, I suggest we go through the slides rather quickly and have the discussion round afterwards. Could you go to the next slide, Henrik?
Yes.
So it's just a short introduction about the program. Then Henrik will take over about previous experience so far, and then we both together look which modules are to come, and we'll answer any questions which will come up. So next slide. Is it okay for everybody?
Yeah, great. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, the background of this Offshore Wind Energy MBA is that we want to contribute to the fast developing offshore wind energy sector. So far, there is no specific managerial course there. There are several technical courses, but based on what we have today, due to the size of the wind farms, due to the cost digression, more and more industrialized aspects come in, and that means we want to contribute to strengthen the managerial competences of the people working in the offshore wind energy sector. Important to mention are two aspects. The one I mentioned in the beginning, we are embedded in the Into Power project, where beyond the two universities, the cluster managers of Belgium, of Netherlands, of UK, and of Denmark are involved. So there's industry representative there. And the second is we have both in Denmark and in Germany advisory boards, which help us to focus on exactly the right issues which are needed. So even though we are two university people now running this meeting, it's mostly driven by the industry and industry needs. Let's look at the next slide. Here you see a comparison. What is a traditional MBA? So kind of university stuff, meaning you provide, and we do that in our university as well, we provide content, we discuss with the students, we make case studies, mostly from books, and we have presentations, term papers, and those things. The Offshore Wind MBA is completely different. We minimize the attendance down to 2 times 2 days, which requires that the students show up and are prepared. So there will be much less input and much more interaction. We will give you real practice cases. We will take those from actual business challenges. We involve people from the business in each module, so that it will be a completely different way to run MBA modules than this would happen in the academy. So it's definitely not typical academic things. Let's look at the next slide. It's just an impression. The traditional exam, you know that maybe from your university, you have lectures, you have exams, term papers, etc. Here in the MBA, in the first workshop, you get the topic together with theoretical background, and in the second workshop, you present the solution. And the solution is not just to satisfy the lecturer. The solution should be helpful and beneficial for the company which brought in the cases. So you really work on practical things, and this is as close as possible to real competency orientation. So let's look at the next one. This is something I do not explain in detail, just to give you an idea how we go through modules. Of course, each lecturer and co-lecturer in the modules, they are free to optimize it. So this will mostly interactive and a best fit of theory and practical work and teamwork of the participants. You can, of course, read all those things. So if you leave your email address, then we send you the PDF of this presentation, which allows me now to go rather quickly to the next two slides about practicalities. Yeah, maybe you are acquainted with credit points from your academic background. A credit point is a kind of workload calculation for each module, and we calculated with 5 European with credit points in the European credit transfer system. That's the long version of ECTS, and this represents 25 to 30 hours, but we take in consideration if people come with a lot of professional experience. Of course, this number of hours will be significantly less. I already said the workshop, first workshop will start when a preparation phase done individually by the participants has been realized. In the key, we have 2 times 2 days of the workshop in one of the countries of the North Sea region. The preparation phase typically lasts 3 to 4 hours, weeks, covering 40 hours, 50 hours for those who really have to read a lot. For those who are rather experienced, this amount of hours is less. Then the preparation before then we have the after the first workshop, we run into a casework phase of the participants, which will be rather short in the coming module because that's embedded in the Blue Grove Summer School in Ostende. I will say a little bit more later. And then after the second workshop, where the presentation was done, where feedback from the company was given to the results of the participants, then finalizing assignments and reflections will happen. So you see the module structure with the 2 times 2 days and the 3 phases which take place where you live, where you work, based on electronic media. So the impact should be feasible for somebody who is rather strongly involved in business compared to traditional students who do not have to run operational things. Next slide is about the target group. So we expect that you have a bachelor or equivalent university degree and at least 2 years work experience, preferably in the energy, in the offshore wind energy sector. If you have no university degree, then we can find a solution if you have at least more than 5 years business experience in the industry. As this webinar is running in English, the program, of course, is taught in English language, and So this requires a certain proficiency in English from the participants. But I think the language in the offshore wind energy sector anyhow is English. The maximum are 15 participants per module in order to ensure interactivity, and the price for one module is €2,000, which includes coffee, breakfast, lunch, afternoon coffee, cake. Of course, if you need support in accommodation, we can give recommendations for that. So that was a little bit faster than planned, having in mind that some people have to live earlier. So I would like to hand over to you, Henrik.
Yes.
And
can you hear me?
Yes.
I see that there is one participant called Kenny, where there is quite some background noise. Could you perhaps mute?
I don't have background noise in my ears.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, good. So I already wanted to hand over to Henrik to talk about previous modules the students experience.
Yes, great.
I think you have prepared a video about that.
Yeah, I have. First of all, I will show you that here is a list of the students' companies. So as you can see, we have both the big players and some smaller also. I will now show you a video. Just a second. Just a second just to share. Can you see it?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Should share this one. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. This is Søren Kellenberger, one of the participants.
Offshore wind energy. My name is Søren Kellenberger. I'm from a company called R&D, and I'm managing a business unit in R&D where we focus on the wind industry. I think that using a real company is really the key for me in this MBA program, because you can say the advantage is it's both the advantage and the disadvantage, but you only have the information you have, but that is also the case in real life. I mean, you only have that much information available, and you have to act on that. And when you work on theoretical cases, maybe you would sometimes have access to some knowledge that you don't have in real life, or on the other hand, you would miss out maybe also on some things that you do actually have access to in real life. But I think when you work with a real life case, it makes you think more about, okay, I need this information. When I get back, do I actually have access to that, and who do I need to involve to get this access? So for me, that was good.
Apply today.
Yes. This is actually some of the students' experience, what they have told us about the process, about the two models was the first ones. I was actually the lecturer in future scenarios in strategy development and operational leadership. And I think that it was very enthusiastic and good participants on the course. And as you can see here, some of the results from the two modules, what they said about it. And now it's back to you, Wolfgang.
No, can you shift this from the video to the slides?
Oh, so let me see. Let me see here. You cannot see it?
No, it's still the video.
All right. What about now?
Yeah. Okay, and now, yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Yes.
So maybe you comment a little bit, or we.
Yeah, it was
just have a look.
Just what I said. Just that you could see what they have said about the first 2 modules, which I was the lecturer in, and it was of the future scenarios, strategy development, and also operational leadership. That was that was the evolution of the 2 first modules. So it was the students' experience.
Okay, well, then we can continue with
The next.
some more organizational things.
Mm-hmm.
So we have designed the, it's still yours, about the guiding principles, yeah.
As you can see, each module is 5 ETCS points. And actually that is, the important one is, when you go to the last one, it is 15 when you go to make the preparation for the whole MBA, the master, of course. Modules are actually standalone, so you can do it anytime it suits you best. The program becomes cyclical and ongoing, so you don't have to join one module at all at the same time. You can change it, and it is flexible for you, so you can actually take it whenever it suits you. It's still a new, and of course we will change some of the things, so it isn't, as Fleming also says, carved in stone. Topics are driven by the advisory board, so actually it is our team and the advisory board who found the course and which courses should be suitable for the MBA. So of course, also depending on demand and supply, we will see how to get to develop new topics for the MBA as a whole. I think that this was that so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are on the module. So as Hendrik said, future scenarios and strategy development, operational leadership has been done at the beginning of this year. Innovative project management is just ongoing, so we are in the reflection phase of after the second workshop. What we have in our pipeline is people management in September and innovation through collaboration in November and December. In our pipeline for later time is economics of an offshore wind farm. So done by Ivan, who is listening at least to us. We have 3 further modules: global business, which is, as the title says, for international activities outside of Europe mainly, logistics, and risk management and legal issues, which are typical things. All this content has been discussed and developed with our advisory boards in Denmark and in Germany, where we have both large companies in like Siemens or MHI Vestas in Denmark, but as well Klingspor or Semco in Denmark. In Germany, it's E.ON, it's TenneT, it's Retec, it's EWE Offshore, those smaller companies as well, who are our advisors and with whom we discuss the topics, the content, and the module descriptions here. Let's look at the next slide. This is just a picture to look on the long run. So we made the experience that usually with the time needed and the time available from our participants, we place typically 1 module per quarter, and you see in the bright blue with a double length, the master thesis at the end. Still, as Hendrik said, you are flexible. You do not have to go exactly the sequence, because we know that this might not always fit into the individual time schedule of participants. Let's go to the next one. I will introduce now the next 2 modules, which is people management. That's about leadership issues and about how to come along with this distance leading, which is typical for offshore wind farms. the requirements if you're outside on the wind farm and have to tackle things. And we got Alexandros Psychogios from Birmingham City University as a lecturer. He is a very experienced and specialized lecturer on this topic, and that's the practical part will come in from two managers from MHI Vestas Offshore in Belgium, which are Stefan Warnecke and Annelies Stiers. So senior manager and HR manager, they bring in the real challenges, what they experience currently in their business, and they have the ambition as well to get answers from the participants. So it's not just paperwork. This will be embedded in the Blue Growth Summer School, which is done by the University of Ghent, taking place in Greenbridge in Ostend in Belgium. And this is the reason why the two workshops are close together. They are at the 9th and 10th of September, the beginning of the Blue Growth Summer School, and the 19th and the 20th of September at the end of the Blue Growth Summer School. So participants could consider if they want to take as well the rest of the program of the Blue Growth Summer School, but they can just come to our two workshops and spend the other days in between on business, respectively online learning. Then the design of the two workshops will be adapted to this special format. The next one is a module. Could you shift it, Henrik?
Yes.
Yep. Taking place in Esbjerg, done by Associated Professor Tove Brink from the University of Southern Denmark and Lisbeth Brøe Jepsen. She works for the Energy Innovation Cluster in Denmark, and we will involve even further external experts into this case. And the important issue, the focus will be on continuous innovation especially in relation with cooperation partners. Design thinking approaches are of course state of the art, which we should provide there, and we should look how small and big companies can learn from each other. This will, the first workshop will start at the 11th of November, which means that the preparation phase will start in the middle of October, and the last workshop will be 9th and 10th of December, which will then be allow to finalize the module in 2019. Location is Esbjerg. Okay, let's have a further look on the remaining modules in the pipeline. As already mentioned, economics of offshore wind farms, risk management, legal issues, logistics, and global business. We launch module by module, as you can book module by module. If you want to stay updated, send us an email at ovember8@esv.deco. We have a LinkedIn platform and a Facebook platform. The specific links are in the last slide of this presentation, and of course our website ovember.com sounds a little bit African, but is of course Offshore Wind Energy MBA. So here we provide you with the updated information. So I'm at the end of this presentation. We are 5 minutes ahead of schedule, and we are ready for discussions and questions about that. So far, I would like to say thank you for listening, and well, I'm curious about which questions come.
Any questions?
Just one. It's Jan Bachmann from E.ON. Just a quick one. You say you need a bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience.
Yeah.
Followed that, is there any further screening you guys are doing?
No. So that are the formal requirements. Of course, if we have the impression that this would not make sense to you, then we would just make that on a dialogue. So that's rather informal.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Other
You're welcome. Thank you.
questions? No more questions from Brussels.
12 points.
Okay.
Right.
But thank you guys very much. It was very good. I'm looking forward to receive the slides.
Okay, you're welcome. So
Thank you.
if I would be in UK, I would say last orders, please. Any questions so far? Well, if that's not the case, then we, Henrik, just shift to the last slide. Then we leave our contact data here, and we are happy to provide you with the slides or with any kind of information which will come up.
Thanks a lot, Wolfgang.
Okay.
Have a nice day, evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.